Once again, when it comes to the Wuhan virus, this is posing to be an incredible opportunity for the progressives to get their agendas across in the name of public safety. And in Mayor John Tory's case, he has resumed his odious war on the car. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, once again, the progressive left has proven true to its word of never let a good crisis go to waste. We have seen during these dark days of the Wuhan virus all sorts of civil liberties stripped away from citizens, whether it's congregating in groups of more than 5, or walking in a park, or sitting on a park bench, or inline skating in an empty parking lot. But wow, this one announced in Toronto takes the cake. You see, the city of Toronto has decided that the COVID-19 is an ideal virus in order to resume their war on the car. So they've introduced a new policy called active TO, which actually means to make TO more inactive when it comes to vehicular traffic. And it's all about what they call quieting streets, aka killing streets. You see, the progressives hate the car in Toronto. They want, if they had their way, they would make all of these laneways and boulevards and streets and whatnot strictly reserved for pedestrians, bikers, and public transit. And they have started fencing off streets as of today. Not just side streets, mind you, but next on the agenda is major thoroughfares such as Lakeshore Boulevard. Now, how major is Lakeshore Boulevard? Well, let's put it this way, folks. This is where the annual IndyCar race is held in Toronto. It's the straightaway for the race, actually. And the thing is, with the Wuhan virus, there are so many people out of work, there are so many people self-quarantining, that traffic is flowing as it should be. And the progressives and communists on council, and that's not an exaggeration, Paula Fletcher used to be the president of the Manitoba Communist Party. How you get elected with that on your resume, I have no idea. They hate that idea. They love gridlock. The theory is you frustrate motorists enough, they will give up their car. They will toss away their keys and get on a bicycle or get into a streetcar and lower our collective carbon footprint. It doesn't work, though. Motorists just grin and bear it behind the wheel, just getting increasingly frustrated. And you have to wonder, when it comes to closing major thoroughfares such as Lakeshore Boulevard, are you telling me that you can't practice adequate social distancing on Lakeshore Boulevard? At certain points in Lakeshore Boulevard, the boulevard is more than 400 meters away from the lake. There are parks separating the boulevard from the lake. There are parking lots, such as this one at Ontario Place. And you're telling me that 4 football fields of space is not enough for people to socially isolate? That's unbelievable. Here, let's go for a stroll. Okay, so folks, I estimate I just walked the length of at least 2 football fields, and I'm talking CFL supersized football fields here, folks. And yet, somehow, the mayor and council think that an entire lane of Lakeshore Boulevard must be removed so that pedestrians and cyclists can maintain social distancing. I mean, look around you. Look at this. Again, I'm not seeing thousands of pedestrians and cyclists. I'm not seeing hundreds. I'm not even seeing dozens. I'm seeing ones and twos of pedestrians and cyclists in an area where you could easily have a carnival. This is outrageous. It is yet again another act in the war on the car, and these cowards on council are pretending it has everything to do with flattening the curve of the Wuhan virus. What a disgrace. By the way, folks, this is also kind of amazing. They have actually closed the parking lots so that people can't park here. This is the main parking lot entrance for Ontario Place, and you can see the gates are down. So even though our elected officials are telling us to get out there and walk and cycle, well, you're going to actually have to walk and cycle from wherever you live, because you can't bring your bicycle via car here to Ontario Place. You're not going to be allowed to park. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to come across as sounding as though I'm anti-pedestrian and anti-cyclist. Of course, I walk a lot. I have a dog after all. And secondly, cycling is my favorite form of exercising. Hey, listen, if it wasn't for my cycling program, I wouldn't just be fat, I would be circus fat. Now, it should be noted, folks, that the mayor and council is quickly to reassure Torontonians that losing those 57 kilometers worth of streets, it's just a pilot project, mind you. It's nothing permanent. We're just going to try it out. Well, folks, when it comes to the war on the car, that is the greatest lie of all. Anything that is anti-car, that is proclaimed to be a pilot project, is indeed a permanent project. Such was the case with the bike lanes on Bloor when they ripped out a lane of traffic each way on Bloor Street, which is now typically a gridlock situation. And such is the case right here on King Street. A few years ago, they reimagined King Street to be really essentially only for streetcars. They removed all the street parking. They eliminated lanes of traffic. As you can see, this barricade behind me. And it's basically a streetcar right-of-way. That, too, was a pilot project that became a permanent project. In fact, we even had Doug Ford back in 2017 weigh in on this when he was then going to run for mayor and undo the disaster that is King Street today.
So anyone who makes an accident or hangs a right by accident and goes down further than a block, he gets the Tory ticket. I'd like to give John Tory a ticket for creating congestion in the city. And I have one here specifically made up, the Tory ticket.
Now, in the Department of Fair Comment, I did reach out to the mayor's office. I sent an email to his spokesman, Don Pistol Pete, and I asked Mr. Pete a few questions. And, well, quite frankly, folks, I'm still waiting on the answers. Number one, I'm looking at several of these road closures, such as Lakeshore Boulevard, and the space from the boulevard to the lake in many places is approximately 400 meters. How is a 400-meter spread not enough space for people who want to practice social distancing? Number two, why is social distancing so important in an outdoor setting, given that there has not been a single recorded case of someone contracting the Wuhan virus while outside? Number three, why was it that just a few weeks ago, Mayor Tory was against shutting down Toronto streets, but now he supports it? Number four, is this indeed a permanent shutdown of streets, much like the so-called King Street streetcar pilot project that turned out to be permanent? And number five, well, not directly related, but still something I'm hoping to get an answer to. Don, you've never offered an answer as to why Mayor Tory and those 10 healthcare workers were never issued $880 tickets for posing closely together for that photo op on University Avenue a few weeks ago. There was law enforcement there at the time, so why is the mayor exempt from social distancing laws, whereas everyday citizens are getting dinged almost $1,000 for simply sitting on a park bench? Well, like I said, folks, Mayor Tory, well, he brands himself as a conservative, but the longer he rules here at Toronto City Hall, the more and more he becomes a progressive liberal. In fact, it's incredible just to try and get a straight answer from this mayor. So in the meantime, like I said, once again, when it comes to the Wuhan virus, this is posing to be an incredible opportunity for the progressives to get their agendas across in the name of public safety. And in Mayor John Tory's case, he has resumed his odious war on the car. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, have you been unfairly targeted by law enforcement or bylaw officers? Have you been given one of those $880 coronavirus tickets? Well, if so, tell us your story, and if we think you've got a good story to tell, we will go to bat for you. We will take up your case in a court of law with our legal eagle, Sam Goldstein. Go to fightthefines.com, that's fightthefines.com, and let us know your situation. And hey folks, if you don't have a story, but you'd like to help crowdfund our legal fees, again, go to fightthefines.com, and if you're able to, make a donation. Thank you.